Hi friends, welcome back. So today I wanted to show you the first two paintings that I have finished as of the end of January. I am working on a couple others now, but really proud of myself because before the end of January I finished two paintings. One of them I started in November, let's be perfectly clear. I started in November and then I was so busy that I basically put the background down and then just left it. It's the one over there. And finally in January, I picked it back up and I got it done. And honestly, I think that I'm going to count that as a painting that I did entirely in January because I did most of it in January. Now, the fun part. You remember last time we did those swatch sheets and we swatched my pastel set, my new pastel set, this one right here, these are from Caran d'Ache, and I am really happy with this set. I actually have been playing with it a little bit. I wanted to show you, this is one of my little like test canvases that I did. This is just a little like hilly thing. But the base of this is in gouache and every single highlight and low light is pastel. I had a lot of fun with this. I know it's not like perfect, but it gives a really nice level of dimension that has been really fun to play with. And I've really been enjoying it. It's just been great fun. It's a really interesting way to add more texture without having to add more paint. And then it's just really fun getting to like smudge it with your fingers. It's kind of a joy to work with. The other brand that I have that I know we talked about last week too is Sennelier. Maybe Sennelier, I'm not really sure. These guys, these are really high quality ones. These are like super soft pastels. These are very like creamy, super blendable, where the Caran d'Ache ones are a little bit more like a crayon. But they both work really well, and considering the fact that I'm really just getting started with this medium, I'm really enjoying the Caran d'Ache. They're not open stock, so as soon as one runs out, I'm gonna go ahead and get a similar color from the other brand. But this gave me a really nice way to like try out all the colors, see what I like, without having to spend a ton of money on it. Not that I bought these anyway, these were a Christmas present. So without my mom having to spend a ton of money on it in the first place. Love you, Mom. So, all that to say, I have two paintings that I really want to show you. I'm going to talk about them just a little bit first. The first one that I did is, I used kind of an older canvas that's not one of my like nice, really expensive ones, because my thought was I want to just design this piece to be, let me see how much I can use pastels on this canvas. And the really fun thing with pastels is that they mix with the gouache really nicely. So I can lay gouache down, lay pastel over the top, and then if I need more gouache, I can come back in with more gouache and the balance doesn't get upset by it. The thing that's tricky is that because oil pastels don't dry, I do have to be a little bit more cautious with like where I set my hand on the canvas. That was particularly an issue with this one over here because there's a focal point at the top and a focal point at the bottom, and I had some difficulty not setting my hand on the canvas and I got smudgies all over the place. But the canvas survived, all is well. Anyway, this first painting that I'm going to show you in just a second, I put some base gouache down, and then basically every time that I built up from there, I was doing so with pastels. And I did use both. I used both the Caran d'Ache and the Sennelier, but I primarily used the Caran d'Ache. Again, because I've used the Sennelier before. I've had that set for almost a year now, maybe closer to like 9 months. I don't remember when I bought them. Let's be fair, I don't remember. But since the Caran d'Ache ones were new, I really wanted to focus on using these and getting used to how these blend and move and work in general, because the Senneliers, like I said, are much more creamy and the Caran d'Ache takes a little bit more doing to blend. So And when I say I used like an old canvas, I don't mean I used a small canvas, because that would never occur to me. So I did this guy. And I really, really love how it turned out. So, let's see if I can explain this better like this. So, the sky is almost entirely gouache. The background color for the mountains and then this little bit of green in here is gouache, and the rest of the mountains is pastel. This line of trees is gouache. This is pastel, this is pastel, this is pastel, gouache. So like fine details are in gouache and hazy misty details are pastel. And I just love how this thing turned out. Not to mention I absolutely love how I did the sky. This is one of my favorite sky painting techniques, and I just think it came out really nicely in this one. Actually, the moon is pastel as well. That is mostly the Sennelier white because I could get it to blend a little bit easier, which is what I wanted for this. And then I added the Caran d'Ache gray to just get it to be a little bit more like a moon. That's a hedgehog. Very small little hedgehog. He's in gouache because no way I'm doing something that tiny in pastels. But I just love how this came out. I had a lot of fun with it. It got a level of depth that I don't think I'm always achieving in gouache. And that was just really, really fun for me to see and experiment with and play with. I probably painted this in about a week and a half, and I worked on it almost every day. And I built my way down. So I started with the sky and these two mountains, and then I added in the pastels in that same evening. And then the next day I came in and I did like these two layers, and I did a little bit more pastel work. And I think that's when I added the little bit of green in there too. I just think it came out really, really beautifully, and I'm super happy with it, especially considering this is my first like full painting that is mixed media, in that I did a lot of pastel on this one. I know last year, one of my first big paintings of the year, I also did with oil pastels and with colored pencil, but not to this level. That one I think just had like a little touch of the colored pencil and the pastel, where this one I very deliberately was trying to see just how much of the pastel I could use on this with it still being my style and not getting too muddy, because oil pastels can get a little bit muddy and a little bit more textury than my usual style. But I think this turned out fabulously, and I'm going to bring it a little closer so you can see that hedgehog. There he is. Hedge pig. So cute. So, the next one, I have had a reference photo, and I don't know where it came from. I don't even know how long I've had it, but I had this reference photo on my phone from absolute ages ago, probably, that I've looked at it for years and just been like, that's really cool. One day I'm going to paint something like that. I'm going to paint something in that style and in that vein. And I finally did it. In November, I had a ton of gumption at the start of the month, and I was just like, we're going to try it. We're going to sit down and we're going to paint this thing, and it's going to be really pretty. And then I got really busy and I couldn't finish it. But I think that was actually really good, because I think it really needed the pastels. Okay, so I just took a quick break and I found what the painting looked like in November. I'm going to show you the finished painting, and then I'll show you what it looked like in November. I think I like that plan better. So, drum roll, please. I have to hold this one back a little farther, huh? This is my latest painting. I'm calling this one the fairy tree, and in my little fox in the fairy world, that tree up there is the home and birthplace of the fairies. And our two foxes have come to wish their fairy well as she goes home. Not going to be able to show you the whole thing up close, but I can do that. Again, I absolutely love how this thing turned out. And again, I did a lot of pastel work on this. Now that you've seen the finished piece, let me show you on my phone. This is what it looked like in November. See if we'll focus on the phone. That's what it looked like. And then after adding the oil pastels and more paint, obviously, this is what it looks like. And legitimately, this might be the proudest that I am of a painting in a while. I am so happy with this painting. It is far prettier than I thought it was going to be. It came out much, much nicer than I ever dreamt it would, honestly. I don't even really have words for how happy I am with this painting. I'm thrilled at how the oil pastels came out. I am absolutely floored at the level of detail and the level of depth that I was able to get in this cliff, because I tried, y'all. I tried for a couple of hours, I think, one day to get that kind of depth with gouache, and it was not happening. And then I sat down with oil pastels, and I think that took me about 20 minutes. It was fabulous. I got it all done, and I looked at it, and I went, huh. And then I literally had to go look up the old picture, because I sat there and I went, this looks really good, but it looked pretty good before too, right? Like, it doesn't look that different. No, it looks very different, that picture that I showed you on my phone. It's just so pretty. I absolutely love how she looks. If you look closely, actually, she used her as a reference. That tree up there in the background of my videos, she was one of my first, I was doing anatomy lessons for artists, and she was one of my first sketches, and I made her into that really cool tree. And I knew I wanted to do a tree in the shape of a woman for this piece, so I used tracing paper, and I traced my original lady, and I made a couple of tweaks to her and put her on this canvas, and I think that she fits in super well. I am crazy happy with this piece. And again, I love the foxes. I'm just going to show you the foxes up close one more time. And after doing that last painting I showed you, I felt a lot more confident with the pastels, so I actually used a really nice canvas for this one too. And I'm really happy I did. I'm really happy that I got the oil pastels. Super thankful to my mom for buying me this set for Christmas. I will definitely be buying more oil pastels. I will be doing more with oil pastels this year. I had so much fun, and I hope that you guys like this one as much as I do. I'm just so stoked. I'm really excited to see how well it pops after I varnish it. Oil pastels are kind of weird because they don't dry, so I am going to have to use spray varnish for this, but I think that'll be fine. I like spray varnish. I have some spray varnish that I rather like. I used that for the magnets that I painted at Christmas time. I think it's really going to pop once it's varnished. I will probably show it to you again after I do that. But anyway, these are the things that I have been working on lately. Those are the two paintings that I've gotten done as of 2025. And honestly, it's a little crazy to me still that I was able to finish 2 paintings this year already. Last year, I remember maybe a quarter of the way through the year, I think it was the start of Q2, I started feeling like I just wasn't painting as much as I wanted to, and I couldn't really figure out why. And then I just sat down and I painted something, and I finished a whole piece, and then I just started painting after that. And this year I really wanted to make sure that that didn't happen, so I was really intentional and really specific as of the start of this year on making sure that I was taking the time to actually sit down and paint. And let me tell you, the start of this year has been so much better because of it. I am thrilled with where my art is going. I am so excited. I have made all sorts of plans for getting the website going this year. It is going to happen for Relios. I'm already budgeting for it. I already have the software I need for getting all of the prints ready to go, and we are getting there, you guys. I'm hoping for Q3, between Q2 and Q3, getting the website launched. I don't want to rush it, obviously. So, anyway, that's where we are, that's where we stand, and thank you guys for watching this little video and for enjoying my artwork, because it's been a lot of fun and it's been a fun little ride, and I really can't wait to see where it goes from here. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in a couple weeks with a whole new video with some more fun stuff. Bye!